going on, guys? Peace, love, and power. It is your boy, Joshua October.
And I'm Jimmy LeVar, and I believe that every person is loved.
Hi, guys. My name is Ivana, aka Ivana Betua.
That is cool. Whoever gets these, your future is looking bright. Oh my, this looks amazing.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for taking your time out. How is everything going this afternoon?
Absolutely fantastic. It's very hot right now in Slovakia. I have about 7 p.m. and right after this, I'm going to jump out in the pool.
Nice.
Yes, I'm having a summer in Europe now, so it's really beautiful. Everything is green, and you might probably hear some birds while we're doing this interview.
Wow, gotcha. And by the way, I really like your fashion sense right now. I also understand that you're also into fashion. Are you wearing anything of your own right now?
On my own, no. Not right now. Most
Gotcha.
of my stuff, really.
Gotcha.
Well, so
Gotcha.
So what we would like to do is we would like to take it back, how you started, what got you involved in, your craft and your creative skills, and, tell us a little bit about yourself and your upbringing.
So I grew up in a little tiny village in Slovakia.
Mm-hmm.
I think about 200 people. And basically my whole life I spent in the nature. I used to draw just for fun, nothing spectacular. Later I started to do graffiti. And because I was so bored in school and I was drawing all the time, that's basically how I got better and better. And tattooing basically came to me once randomly after when I was finishing school. My friend asking me if I would like to try tattooing, and basically saying like, sure, got me the tattoo machine and I will try it. So right after when I was finishing school, I started to tattoo my friends and I never did anything else. So for me, that was really love at the first sight. I'm a self-taught artist. I'm tattooing now for more than 22 years, always improving, of course, but my beginning was literally just, I didn't even know what I'm doing. So it was a little rough. But after some time, I used to travel the world. I used to visit lots of tattoo conventions. So I had chance to meet another artist. I was always learning, always improving, always, just trying some different things, and basically until I developed my own style. And for people who know me or what is my style, so it's a few different things together. I do lots of color tattoos, or that's what I'm famous for. But I'm versatile. I can tattoo anything, obviously. Tattooing was just a little bit kind of challenging for me. That's why I took on, and I mix few different styles together, or kind of elements what I put there. It's graphic design, illustration, a little bit of realism, street art, but everything is in perfect harmony. So I actually mentioned the most important thing, that I'm the first and only woman in the world whose tattoo art is contemporary fine art by the macrame. So I pretty much changed the history in tattooing.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was reading on. I was just really impressed on how, you left Slovakia in 2000. You really went out for your dreams. And since then, it's been the only thing that, that you've done on top of also like, photography and also, just all these different other creative outlets that you also have. But my question is, to be the first woman to ever be recognized for contemporary art, you're also listed in museum catalogs is crazy. So it's like, when that acknowledgement first happened, was it emotional for you? And today, is it still emotional for you?
No, I didn't even realize for the next 1 year what actually happened. I started to date my girlfriend. We are still together. And I got this invitation to come to Rome. You know, somebody was telling me like, this is what's happening, and I get so many emails. So I was just like briefly, you know, responding. I'm like, babe, do you want to go to Rome for a weekend? Because I was taking it lightly. I didn't realize it's such a huge thing, you know. But
Yeah.
Right.
when the museum, when I saw that there was all of the press from like Italy and from all different countries in Europe, and I had to give a speech, which I didn't expect. It was a really big thing in the film. So I realized, I'm like, okay, it's not like it's a pretty big deal, but it still took me about one what actually happened, because I didn't realize actually that literally I changed the history in art, not just in tattooing, but in art, because tattooing was never before defined as contemporary fine art.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's amazing. And that's huge. And can we just get a round of applause for that? Because that was just, that's super talent, and that's, beyond this planet to be the first woman to break boundaries in the tattooing industry. And, maybe, it's kind of the tattooing industry is looked at as a male dominant category sometimes, or maybe they don't give the woman enough recognition, but that right there is major. So definitely, big credit and big props to you for that.
So much. Yes, it was definitely one of my biggest accomplishments. But during my career, of course, there was also some major things what happened for me.
Yeah.
I can just a little bit. So, and it's a fact. It's not like I'm flexing or something, but it's a fact that I won most prestigious tattoo shows globally. I'm not only talking about States, but everywhere in, I don't know, in Los Angeles, Tokyo, New York, Paris.
Wow.
Prague, everywhere, name it, and I probably won, and not even in my style, but all different styles together. So I feel because you were correct, what you said, it is still male-dominated industry, even though it's better. The young generation is obviously different. So the times are changing, which I'm so happy about for the future generations. But it was pretty tough. So I always, besides being the first and only woman, this is still really major for me to win all of these beautiful shows, because it was tough. You can only go there by invitation, for example, like to Paris or some other shows. And they're the best artists in the world. So not like a random tattoo artist go there,
Yeah. No, I personally think that I think the females, do a lot of way better work than the males do in the tattooing industry. I give a lot of, credit and props to the women who, are just very strong at what they do and who put a lot of time and energy and being so versatile like yourself. I give a lot of props and credit to women like yourself, because it's amazing and you're killing it. And I just want to just take it back really quickly to your upbringing and, growing up in a small village around 200 people. You were surrounded by nature. So that upbringing is completely different from somebody who was raised in New York or in Boston or Los Angeles in a sense too. Can you tell me a little bit about that and your upbringing around nature, and how was your, how would you look at, life in your eyes and your perspective?
Very pure. And that still stay with me. I love this energy of nature, of the purity. And this is how I'm actually managing all my life. I like everything crystal clear. I like good energy, and it's easily for me to recognize because I grew up in it. So if it's a different vibe or different vibration and it doesn't match what I grew up with, and it's not clean enough for me, it's not interesting. So this is actually where I get the most inspiration from. It's a nature and it's life. It's the love for life I have, because I have such a beautiful life. So. And I still look like I am today, because I used to play all the time. I was playing soccer, or I was, I don't know, running through the fields. I was going to the forest, just doing really simple things. There wasn't much distraction for me as a child, really just playing all the time. And right now, like, I'm already 42 years old. So when I still living my life like that little kid. I'm still yes. I still get super excited about things. This is kind of like perception of life, just to keep that playful spirit, in my life. So this is how I work: clean energy and that kind of like seeing the world through kids' eyes, like a children, and like that joy and be playful. And you can see it also in my tattoos, because my tattoos, people always tell me like, I don't know, like your tattoos are like so much fun and it puts smile on my face. It is so colorful. It is so whimsical. And this is exactly what it is, because it is a reflection of how I feel inside. So I'm just translating onto my art.
Wow. Speaking of purity, when you were a child, what fascinated you so much about animals?
It's the same. It's a clean energy for me. You know, little children are pure energy for me. Animals are pure energy to me. Everything around, that's the pure energy. Sometimes I feel as humans just complicate things, or, you know, because we have all these sort of different emotions and stuff. But yes, animals, like, absolutely, it's just pure energy for me also. We don't have a predators in Slovakia, you know, like I think if I live in Africa or somewhere, I might be a little bit afraid, but here is just everything nice. Nothing really bites you, you know, we don't have really snakes or some sort of like animals who can hunt something, absolutely not.
Wow.
Got you.
Got you. And you know, I've seen, you know, you've tattooed, you know, a lot of, you know, major artists, major stars, celebrities. But one thing that I came across that really caught my attention was that you replaced a toenail.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about that, and how was that experience, you know, tattooing a toenail that was
You know,
gone?
yes. So, you know, with tattooing, you can for all sorts of things, and especially, you know, also for the medical reasons, not just from aesthetic point of view, but the medical reasons. Whether you're replacing, for instance, a toenail, or you are creating new nipple, you know, for the patients with cancer and stuff like that. So I'm not focusing on that, but I had one old lady. She was around 8 years old, and she lost her toenail, so I was replacing it for her. It was tough because the skin was completely different. It wasn't like smooth surface or anything like that, so it was really challenging for me. And also I had to match the color, and the color can be tricky because when it heals, it's a little bit different compared to when it's fresh, you know. So for me it was really challenging, but I tried it, of course, because I want to make her happy, you know, so she can look at her feet and she feels like she really has a real toenail.
Yeah.
So traveling from to Rome, to Italy, to Mexico, I've noticed that you travel a lot with your mother and also your wife, Veronica. How does it feel to also share these moments that you're able to share living this life of purity and just a really blessed life? How does it feel to share that with those two?
Oh, it just fulfills me so much. You know, this is like, I love this. I always dreamt of being the position in my life when I can make other people happy, especially people close to me, you know, take care of my family. But it makes me so happy because my mom could never afford to travel to places. Like, I travel everywhere with her. I took her to Africa, Caribbean, Indonesia, Asia, wherever she wants to go, I always take her. With my wife, the same. So it just makes me just really happy, you know, and it fills me inside, because I remember as an artist, I traveled for over 20 years all around the world. And there was a times when I was alone. I was about 4 years, I think, on the road, and I was traveling by myself. But, you know, when I wanted to experience all different cultures and all different styles of tattooing, that's how I also learn. So I pick up so many different styles from so many different cultures. And summary of everything when actually I develop my own style, but it's a pretty much mix of everything what I ever learned. I was like a sponge. So there was time
Wow.
when I was alone. Beautiful to travel alone. Of course, I still have so much joy and it makes me so happy. But or okay, I go to, you know, places like Paris or New York, and I won first places in tattoo conventions, and then at end of the day, I'm so tired. I come to my hotel and I'm alone, and I have nobody to share with this success, you know. And this was happening all the time, until one day I was already at the position, and finally, you know, my mom with me. Now I can take my wife with me everywhere. We travel always together. So for the past 4 years, I don't go anywhere alone anymore. I don't have to, and it makes me so happy because the experience is completely different.
Yeah.
Wow. Can we have a clap for that? That's amazing. Amazing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you're absolutely right. You know, it's really all about, you know, building those memories in special times with your close ones, your loved ones, your family, your mom, your wife, you know, those are really, you know, what great moments are all about, when you can bring that joy and happiness into their lives and bring, you know, something that, you know, they're not too familiar with or haven't got the chance to done themselves. That's major, you know, that's amazing. And that's beautiful. You know, what do you feel as far as, you know, when you started tattooing to where you're at today? You know, there's been so much time with growth and your experience and different, you know, challenges that you may have come across. How do you feel where you're at today in your tattooing skills?
You know, I can feel that I'm super comfortable in what I do, and it's not bad thing to say. You know,
Absolutely.
last time, because you know people can be like, of course I always learn, because skin is so challenging. It's always different. It's never the same. That sense is always challenging. But I came to the point when I'm feeling super comfortable in what I do, so I don't have to think about it too much. You know,
Good.
I'm not experimenting. Maybe not so much like I used to before, because I feel I try so many different things.
Mhm.
But I really want to do now what I enjoy the best, you know. So that's what I would say when it comes to my tattooing. But for me, the biggest thing is that now I'm taking that, you know, I'm taking my tattoos or my tattoo artistry into something else.
Hmm.
For example, I developed my clothing, ITA Los Angeles, IVANA Tattoo Art Los Angeles. When I'm
Mhm.
taking my and I'm putting it into clothing now, or right now I'm creating NFTs, you know. So I'm giving maybe 1-2 months, 100% it's gonna be out already. And this is for me kind of natural process, or something what I really, really enjoy, because like I said, in tattoo industry, I achieve so many things. I don't even know what else I would like to achieve in tattoo
Yeah.
industry. So for me, challenge something new, you know. So NFTs, totally great fan of that. Put my designs into clothing. I released 2 books. The latest one is Just Love Tattoos and Sushi, when I'm basically talking about my art. That is some of my best work. I'm talking about a few different things in tattooing. Uh, Also, I'm creating illustrations. So not because, you know, some people cannot afford my pieces because it's obviously it's more expensive probably than other artists, and not everybody actually wants to have a tattoos on their body. So this was also my reason why I start to pretty much create illustrations, clothing,
Mm.
book. So I want to have my art for everybody. I don't want to be limited just by tattooing, you know.
Mm. That's powerful.
So
That's
like yeah, and if you weren't doing tattoos, what would Ivana be doing?
Even I wouldn't exist, because I'm an artist since I was born. So it's hard to really say. It's an air I breathe. I was always like this, you know. As a little
Mm,
kid, I'm an artist. I just knew it. I didn't know what exactly is it, but I was always super artistic, and even my way of thinking, you know, as a child, I was thinking, I'm like, I'm going to be, okay, imagine this tiny little country in the middle of Europe called Slovakia. It used to be Czechoslovakia before, okay? And then you zoom in and imagine little tiny village where is 200 people in the middle of nowhere. You have to have a car to access everything, okay? But in my head, I was like, I'm going to be living in America. And I was very specific. I say Hollywood, you know, so I'm in LA, it's close enough. So I was saying, I'm going to be living in America. And I was a little kid, like 5-6 years old, and I'm like, I'm going to be the artist. So I was thinking, I'm like, maybe singer, maybe actor. I would never be thinking that I'm going to create tattoos, you know. But I knew I was going to be the artist. So that was nice. That was literally these visuals, or this visualization what I had as a little child. It came true. It became true. Also traveling all around the world, because I grew up in communism, and you cannot go anywhere. You can only go, you know, let's say to Russia or to Croatia with special permit, but you cannot travel really. You are almost like a
mm,
prisoner.
wow.
But I saw myself always like, I'm like, no, I'm gonna be everywhere. And that
wow,
became true.
it did. Came true.
Wow. Yeah, a manifestation that is really real, you know.
I,
Um,
I live with it.
yeah, and you had said once it's an inner feeling, some sort of, you felt you know, connected, fearless, and your imagination was just out of this world, basically like you explained. Do you feel like, as human beings, we have power to manifest our reality? And if we really put our time and energy and focus and love into something, what we do, we can create that?
Absolutely. But you know what is it for me? What I would say, absolutely, we have this power. You can create your own reality because everything starts with your thoughts, but lots of people live in themselves. So let's say you maybe, okay, actually, lots of people don't even know what they want. So let's start there. They don't know.
That's true.
you know so with the manifestation, it's just like that. You have to be very clear in what you want, and once you know what you want and you decide to go for it, then you have to ask for it, meaning, okay, I believe in higher power. You can call it God, you can call it high intelligence, you can call it universe. It doesn't matter. Higher power, bigger than us. So I believe in that. So you have to ask, believe in that what you ask for, and also learn how to receive it. You have to know how to receive it, because lots of people don't have enough self-love, or they think they don't deserve it, and that's not going to happen then. So this is manifestation, like I say. So you have to have a clear vision about it, ask for it, believe, receive. And I know it's kind of like cliche, or it sounds easy. It's actually not that easy because of our own hangups,
Yeah.
but manifestation works. You manifesting with your thoughts all the time, whether it's positive or negative. So you have to be with your thoughts. If you spend more time on negative thoughts, that's exactly going to reflect on your reality. It's all about thinking. That will be probably the first thing. When I catch myself, I have some negative thoughts. I always ask myself, how does this thought serve me for what I want in my life? Does it serve me? No, gone. And I replace it for new positive thought or something what I actually want. And this is very important. So this is my manifestation pretty much. And I always just to be aware, be connected enough so you can actually recognize it. And also, you is not like now what you want and you manifest it and you just sit back. I don't believe in that, because I know I'm talented, but my talent was, I would say, 85% of hard work. I was working so hard to become the artist I wanted to be. I put my energy forward. I wanted to be the best, but constantly going. And when you keep repeating so many times the same thing, you have to become master. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you have all of this. So I always think it's a fusion of few things together. It's not like this or that.
Yeah.
So also that energy into something.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I agree. I agree 100% with that as well. What would be some advice that you would give to some upcoming tattoo artists that, look at you as inspiration or inspired by you in your artwork? What's some feedback and advice you would give to those?
For the tattoo artist, I would just say to firstly start with authenticity. Be authentic to yourself and receive yourself as you are. This is really important, because if somebody is not authentic to themselves, it's going to reflect on the art. That's my opinion. So that would be the first thing to start with, and then just put yourself into the positions. If you can learn from somebody else, do that, because you will become quicker what you can be, so other people can help you. Be like a sponge, basically. Ask information, use your resources, ask other people. You have to do that in the beginning and put your energy and time to it. And like I said, if you keep repeating all of this, you're gonna have the success you want. But you have to, in the beginning, there is no shortcut about it, actually, when it comes to tattooing.
I really am just admired by how devoted you've been to what you want it to be. Um, who who inspired that characteristic, or like who was around you as a kid? Like, was it your mom? Like, where does that devotion come from?
I think I'm a force. That's what it is. I don't know. I have just so much energy, and it's not about that. I have such a love for life. For me, it's a gift, and I know this every day when I wake up. But I knew it already when I was little. So fascinating when I can. I don't know if I see the trees, if I see, like I said, because I grew up in nature, and for me, it's just so beautiful. So, and having so much fun in my life gives me even more energy or drive of living. And I love traveling. I love beautiful things. I want to have a good life, you know, or excellent life actually. I want to basically have a freedom that to put it in the big picture. I want to be abundant and I want to have a freedom. So for me, it's naturally I'm going to do something for it. I'm not expecting of, you know, somebody to come to me and hand this to me. I know I'm creating I'm creator of my own life. So I will do anything I can to have the best life possible, you know? So I think it's naturally for me. I know some people don't have such a drive, you know, maybe it's a little bit simple, but for me, I'm always very driven. But it's always for better life and to make, you know, my loved ones happy also.
Wow, that's great. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love that too. And you're right, you know, not everybody is, you know, can motivate themselves or, you know, are even willing to try, you know, they give up the first time or they don't even start, you know, and you know, having that perseverance and keep going and pushing through every obstacle is amazing.
I
And
might
it's,
don't need anybody to motivate me, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm like, I motivate myself. I don't need anything extra special. And when you ask me before, how many mistakes in my life, you know, obviously because I was always alone. When I left Slovakia, I was, I think 19 years old, any English, and I had
wow,
around 300, was all my money. And I left from Slovakia to Australia, which is other side of the world. I, you
wow,
know, months I have no money for food. I was eating instant noodles or I was buying just cheese or something just to, you know, make myself full a little bit. And that was it. And started to learn English. It took me about, I would say about 1 2 years when I learned English. But the first year it was very hard, but I would never give up. So like I said, I always motivate myself.
beautiful. And, you know, as we get ready to wrap it up, we have a few more questions to ask. You know, what are some things other than, you know, traveling and soccer that you love? What are some other things that you love to do? Can be sports wise, or it can be, you know, another country that you love to go and visit.
I'm a huge traveler. So right now, I would love to go to Antarctica. That's my to go. I also want to go to Rwanda to see gorillas. Usually, when I travel, it's always for to see animals or nature or something spectacular, something different. So that this is my countries and also Amazon jungle. So it's almost everything is like AAA Arctic. This is my countries when it comes to my travel dreams. And what did you ask exactly? Only just this?
And then,
What is
and then as far as, you know, soccer, you know, what are some other sports that you love?
I love tennis. I love to play tennis. I also, besides sport, I love to wine and dine. I'm a huge fan of food, so I'm a big foodie. Obviously, because I think it's my palate is really developed because I travel to all these countries and I eat everything. I eat
Mm.
fresh, I eat like frogs, everything what exists, I will eat it. I don't care because I want to try once. I was drinking the blood from the snake when I was in Indonesia, so I'm adventurous when it comes to these things.
Ah,
Wow. All right, so if we're all ever in the same city, I say we all get a game of tennis, yeah?
game of
Yeah.
tennis, game of tennis. All right, you know, I'm not that good, but you know, we could work on it. We get some tennis going.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my last questions is just, spirituality means so many different things. It could be the way you live, it could be something that you believe in, but what does spirituality mean to you?
To me, it feels connection to myself because I'm energy. This is just pretty much, I call it shelf of my body is physical, but spirituality is something like it's belief in yourself, as energy in the higher power. Just a little bit few more things together because I'm thinking of myself and I said it earlier, I'm a force, meaning I'm an energy, and that energy never dies. It just transfers to something else, from this physical to spiritual. But for me, it's that connection. And I notice, maybe you even know, like when you feel disconnected, you feel kind of lonely. And you know what it means? Because
Yeah,
you have to have balance. And if you don't, you kind of feel lonely.
yeah, absolutely.
No, 100%. Wow. You know,
Yeah.
it's amazing to hear others, you know, speak, you know, the way of higher power, energy, manifestation, and
Mhm.
in that language, because not a lot of people see it in that way. Not a lot of people believe it in that way, and that's fine. But it's beautiful and it's amazing and it's a powerful thing when you can see the reality of the universe and energy around us, and as you know, being aligned with your chakras. It's very important, and that's awesome. That's amazing, and that's beautiful. And as we get ready to wrap it up, what are some things that you got going on right now currently that you're working on, or that you have coming up in the works?
So right now I'm starting to do some recording, like a TV show. And my biggest thing, what I'm going to do right before, is my first NFT drop. So that's something amazing. I'm so this project, what I'm right now with my team, I'm going to be again the first woman, like a when I have this. It's a different. It's not just like put some artwork on OpenSea or something. It's different. I don't want to talk until it's done because it's gonna be surprise.
Okay.
Interesting.
This is my thrilled about. I'm so excited. I cannot even.
And also, are there any?
I'm always something working on and something creating. Always. That's never gonna stop my engine.
Do you have anything tangible right now that I can wear? I can go to your website.
I think he wants to model in some of your clothing in your clothing brand.
I don't have all of it there, but you will see some because I have a plenty, but it's not everything on my website. But if you go to www.ivanatattooart.com and you will click ITA Los Angeles, which is my clothing line and merchandise, then you will see some t-shirts there. It's a high street fashion, so the materials and everything is amazing. It's a quality like Givenchy probably, or Gucci, like really nice materials.
That's my language. I love it. I'll be there. I'm going there.
Ivana, thank you so much. And that is all the time that we have today. It is your boy, Joshua October.
I'm Jimmy LeVar, and behind every person is love.
You are with one of the best tattoo artists in the world, Ivana Tattoo Art.
Ivana, thank you so much.
In the world.
That's right, in the world. You heard it here.
Absolutely.
Vamp Podcast Season 2, the online experience. Thank you.
Každý deň je taký, aký má byť. Nič sa nedieje náhodou, lietanie aj pády. Není nič, čo by sme nezvládli, a nemusí mať deň práve grády. Na to, aby som ho nemohol osláviť, stačí, keď je s tebou ten, s ktorým ho môžeš tráviť. Zdraví, byť milovaný, úsmev na tvári, čo je lepšia zbraň na tie negatívne